I have gotten a little long-winded in the last few episodes. We like to keep them between 5 and 10 minutes long, so I'm going to rush through this one a little bit. Welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to 1983. I am PH, your host, and we are on the 5 days to fix the US. This is day 2. So we talked last time about moving the power back out of the federal government's hands and back over to the states. Something that is near and dear to my heart is the history of the United States and what we were moving away from and into as far as the government goes. So when we take away the power of the federal government, obviously there's things that are left over that the states would have to pick up. So the first one that we're going to go into is social services. We're talking like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, all of those types of things. The reality of it is it'd be extremely more efficient for the state to run these. Usually by the time that you pay all of the federal employees that are involved in getting taxes from the people, all the way to handing money out to help other people, you waste about 85 cents on the dollar. And it's not necessarily a waste because, yes, there are people that have jobs in the federal government. That job allows them to feed their family and all that stuff. But those jobs would just be moved to state jobs. They wouldn't be federal jobs anymore. Social Security has kind of been a farce for a long time. Everyone talks about the fact that the money's been borrowed away. It's kind of like Fort Knox. There's no more gold in it. Eventually it'll run out and people will be extremely pissed off when they find out about it. Now, I don't necessarily think that there's a reason to continue Social Security, but I think there should be a moral drive in people to take care of their elderly, to take care of anyone that is disabled mentally or physically. We should allow them to be a part of society. We shouldn't make them have to work beyond. Obviously, there's some 70-year-olds that still want to be working. But if you want to retire, you should be able to retire. This is one of the hardest ones to talk about because no one wants to talk about getting rid of Medicare or Medicaid. No one wants to talk about, getting rid of a retirement plan for people. But the reality of it is, living on Social Security, if that's your only source of income, you don't have any other source of retirement, you're not living a good life. The reality of it is you're living in a crappy home or a crappy apartment. If you did things the right way, you've paid your home off and it just pays for, electricity, food, gas, stuff like that, insurance. But you don't make enough money to have an enjoyable retirement. So I think one thing that should happen is we should be giving people back the right to decide what their retirement is going to be. And Dave Ramsey, if you listen to him, he proves it. You don't have to make $2 million a year to be able to retire wealthy. The reality of it is janitors, teachers, farmers, farm hands. If you take the money that you're given and you're a good steward of it, which is biblically what we're supposed to be doing, you're able to retire with plenty. A lot more than you'd be getting on a monthly paycheck from the government. As far as insurance goes, I do think we should be making insurance affordable. I don't think we should be making insurance free. And there are certain situations, people that are disabled, single moms, they have disabled children. I do think that there are specific situations that can be handled on a case-by-case basis to decide whether or not tax dollars should go to help them. But I also think there's a lot of people mooching off the system. In biblical terms, they used to leave, what was it, the outside 10 feet of the farmer's crops. And this is kind of an extreme idea, but whatever you're willing to harvest is what you're willing to get. And that's all you get. Now, I do think we should be taking care of our families, and we should be offering charity through the goodness of our heart and not through taxes. But the reality of the situation is, if we could get the moochers out of the system and get people back to working for the betterment of themselves, not necessarily society, but the betterment of themselves. Idle hands are the devil's playground. Is that what it is? Devil's playground? The reality of it is, if any of us had the choice with the right mindset, it'd be okay to sit at home on your couch watching television all day long on a free iPhone, hanging out with free internet, have free healthcare, get paid $60,000 a year in unemployment to just sit. I would drive myself insane. I don't know if I'd be able to handle that. Who knows? I've never been in that situation before. But if we can get the moochers out of the system and actually take care of the people that need to be taken care of, we would be able to bring the cost down to where states would be able to pay for them out of pocket based on the taxes and donations that they receive from their people. It would be a long and drawn out process of going through and finding the people that are attacking the system. But I also think that those people that have been using the system should be given a certain amount of time to get out of it. And if they continue to abuse it, there should be a penance for it. It's unfortunate. People have been allowed to not have consequences for their actions longer than we probably should have allowed it to go on. And it's hard saying this stuff because I know some people that have been lifetime disability. They've been on government funding. They live in government housing, stuff like that. And they're good people. But they need to carry their own weight. That's just the reality of it. No one is born into this earth to have to take care of someone else. That should be voluntary, and you should be pulling your own weight before you get your help. And like I said, there are certain circumstances that probably fall into needing a little bit more social help. But if we weren't taxed as much as we were, I fully believe people would be giving to charities more. People would be giving to their religion more, outside of the 10% tithe that a lot of churches are asking you to give. People would see other people in their neighborhood struggling, and they would know it is a true struggle. It's not just someone being lazy, and it's not just someone making up reasons to not be able to function. But they would know for a fact, this person needs my help, and I have the means to help them. And yes, the reality of it is, there are some selfish bastards out there that are going to ruin this system. They're going to attempt to do that. They're going to pinch every penny, and they won't help anyone else. They'll only help themselves. But we need to look into this as a viable option for step one of moving toward making the U.S. better again. So I will be bringing infrastructure ideas tomorrow. Some of them will be popular and some of them won't be. But I think we need to take some drastic measures to get this country back to where it is going, or where it needs to go. Where it's going right now is down the toilet. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. This is day 2 of the 5 days to fix the U.S. Stay safe. God bless. And everyone have a fantastic day. We'll catch you next time.